students, welcome to the online video teaching from Sri Shankaracharya Vidyalaya. Hope this video will definitely find in best of your health and high spirits. Today we are going to discuss about the second chapter from history, that is from trade to territory. In this chapter we are going to study about the company establishes the power. How the company, that is the East India Company, he established power in India. So let us study. This is the first page of your chapter. And Aurangzeb, as per the chapter, Aurangzeb was the last of the powerful Mughal rulers. So Mughal rulers, we know, by that was ruling by India by that time, and Aurangzeb was the last ruler from this Mughal dynasty. He established control over a large part of the territory, and that is known as India. After his death in 1707, many Mughal governors, who were also called as Subedars. Subedar means that person who are also called the chief of the province, commonly known as the governors. They and the big Jamindars, they began asserting their authority and establishing regional kingdoms. Because why? Because after Aurangzeb, there was no such big ruler to control over the country. And gradually the Subedars and Jamindars, they were gaining the power and authority over the country. Now British by that time power came into emerge in India, because the second half of the 18th century British came to India as a small trading company. They came as a small trading company, but gradually they established their authority over India. So how they gradually developed their authority over India and acquired their territories is a matter of consideration and matter of study. So let us study. Next part is East India Company. East India Company comes east. It means that in 1600 the East India Company acquired a charter. That is, what is the meaning of charter? An official document stating that what a ruler or government allows. They started with a system of charter from ruler of England, Queen Elizabeth I. According to this charter, the East India Company got the sole right to trade with the East. With this, the company could venture across the ocean, took new country from where they could buy goods at cheap price and sell it in higher prices. So at that time, the company did not have any competition with the other English companies, because mercantile trading companies made profit primarily by excluding competition, so that they could buy cheap and sell it at higher price. What is the meaning of mercantile over here? Mercantile means that whenever a business enterprise makes profit primarily through trade, buying goods cheap and selling them at higher prices. That is what they used to do. They used to buy the things at lower price and sell it in higher prices. That was one of the main criteria of this East India Company. So, next, the Royal Charter could not prevent other European powers entering the eastern markets, because they were the only gaining profitable by that time, and they didn't have any competitors. By the time the first English ships sailed down the east coast of Africa round the Cape of Good Hope, crossed the Indian Ocean. And what about the other companies by that time? The other companies by that time, were Portuguese established their presence in the western coast of India and got their base in Goa. Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route to India in 1498. The Portuguese, the Dutch, the French traders came to India. The fine qualities of cotton, silk, and different spices like cloves, pepper, cardamom, cinnamon. You all know these spices. We usually use, mothers use it in the kitchens also, you know. And these are spices are very costly, and they had a of India had a big market in Europe. They had a very much demand in European markets. So they used to buy, these European traders, what they do, they used to buy this spices from India at low price, and they had a very much gain in the European market. So all companies were interested to buy these products. The urge to secure market led to fierce battle among the rival companies. The East India Company found it difficult to separate trade from politics. So there was a heavy competition regarding this part. So how trade led to battles now? East India Company began trade in Bengal. The first English factory was set up on the banks of River Hooghly in 1651. And what happened by that time? Soon the trade expanded. The company persuaded merchants and traders to come and settle near the factory. By 1696, the company built a fort around the settlement. 2 years later, it bribed the Mughal officials, giving company Jamindars right over 3 villages. These were all these demands. They started growing when they started trade over the areas near the Bengal, that is on the banks of River Hooghly in 1651. And what they said, 2 years later, it also bribed that the Mughal officials into giving the company Jamindari rights over 3 villages. One of these villages was Kalikata, what is called as Kolkata now, and by that time it was also called as Calcutta. The East India Company persuaded Aurangzeb to issue a farman. What is the meaning of farman over here? Farman means, the word farman means that if it is a type of, what you say, it is a type of yes, it's a document that was given by the traders, and that is people over there. Then farman granting the company the rights to trade duty free. The officials of the company who were carrying on private trade were expected to pay the taxes, but they refused to pay, which angered the Nawab of Bengal, Murshid Quli Khan. Now, after death of Aurangzeb, the Bengal Nawab Murshid Wali Khan and Alivardi Khan and Sirajuddaulah refused to grant concessions to the company. On the other hand, the company declared that unjust demands of the local officials were ruining their trade, and they demanded duty-free trade, free trade. The conflict between the company and the Nawab of Bengal finally led to the famous Battle of Palashi, because there was an always there became a conflict between the concept, that is, after death of Aurangzeb, the Bengal Nawabs, by that time they were the Murshid Quli Khan and Alivardi Khan and Sirajuddaulah, they refused to grant concessions to the company, which the company, that is the East India Company, that is the British, they demanded. On the other hand, the company declared that the unjust demands of the local officials were ruining their trade, and they demanded duty-free trade. That is, they are not willing to give any taxes or any kind of revenues for making trade in the country. So the conflict between the company and Nawab of Bengal finally led to the battle. When there is a conflict between the conception or any suggestions between the to compromise between the two parties, there always becomes a conflict of battle, which ultimately leads to the battle. And this is the famous Battle of Palashi that led to the famous Battle of Palashi, that is written over here. You can see in this page. Next we are coming up with the Battle of Palashi. What happened? The famous incidents of the Battle of Palashi were Alivardi Khan died in 1756 and Siraj-ud-Dowla became the Nawab of Bengal. Now company wanted a puppet. Puppet means here a person who is controlled by someone. That is, does not have any say. Literally a toy which could moves with the strings. That is, a person who is controlled by someone else's force. He is just sitting as a power, but virtually he is not having any power. That is what is puppet means, a person controlled by someone else. Ruler instead would willingly give privileges. So they tried to help one of the Siraj-ud-Dowla's rival become Nawab. Siraj-ud-Dowla got furious and asked the company to stop meddling in the political affairs. What is the meaning of stop meddling? Here is given the word over here, the meddling. What is the meaning of this word? Meddling means interfering. Now, in political affairs, they stop building forts, pay revenues. So, Siraj-ud-Dowla asked the company to stop interfering about the political affairs, and they stop building the forts and pay the revenues also. After negotiation failed, Siraj-ud-Dowla along with 30,000 soldiers captured the English factory at Kashim Bazar and company's fort at Calcutta. Now, on hearing about the fall of Calcutta, the company officials in Madras sent forces and under the command of Robert Clive. His name is very famous in history. You have to remember the name also. After the negotiation with the Nawab failed, Robert Clive led the company's army against Siraj-ud-Dowla at Palashi. Clive managed to secure the support of Mir Jafar, one of the commanders of Siraj-ud-Dowla. He didn't fight the battle. He went to the battlefield, but he did not fight any battle against East India Company. Thus, the company win the battle because Siraj-ud-Dowla, who is the Nawab, he sent Mir Jafar under the command his whole army. But Mir Jafar, being the puppet in hand of the company, he didn't fight the battle. So ultimately, the company won the victory in the Battle of India in Bengal. This incident happens with the Battle of Palashi were followed. After the defeat of Palashi, Siraj-ud-Dowla was assassinated and Mir Jafar was made the Nawab. Mir Jafar protested, he deposed, and Mir Qasim made the Nawab. In 1764, when Mir Qasim raised his voice against company, he defeated the Battle of Buxar and Mir Jafar was again made the Nawab of Bengal. Mir Jafar died in 1765 and the company decided to become Nawab themselves. So, after defeating, you can see the Bengal Nawabs one after another, the company took that position and become the Nawab themselves. So, after this, in 1765, the Mughal emperor appointed the company as Diwan of Bengal. The Diwani allowed the company to use the vast revenue resources of Bengal instead of buying goods and sold silver and brought from Britain. These revenues could be used to purchase cotton and textile in India, maintain company troops and meet the cost of the building the company fort and offices at Calcutta. So, these are how the company, that is the East India Company, they grew the hand in, that is the wings in Bengal and all over India. That is, gradually they became powerful and tried to build their territories. In the next lecture, we will come up with the next part, that is company official becomes Nawabs. Thank you.